Welcome to this edition of Don't Get Yelled At. Today we're making potato salad. And the first step to making your Super Bowl potato salad is using really nice potatoes. So if you can, buy Yukon Golds. If you can't, use russets. Today I'm using both. The russets are gonna be fried, the Yukons are gonna be in the salad. You want your water to taste like seawater. So you wanna use a hefty amount of salt. The salt isn't really gonna penetrate the potatoes, but it will a little bit. Once you have your potatoes submerged in water, go ahead and put them on high heat. When they get to high heat, bring them down to it. Now, you don't wanna boil your potatoes. You don't wanna overcook them. You want them to be just right. You want them to be tender. You don't want them to explode. You don't want them to blow all over the place, because half of them we're gonna deep fry and half of them we're gonna mix into the salad. So you wanna cook your potatoes just until they're tender and not until they explode. My number one advice to you today is to clean as you go. Every dish. So you dirty something, you clean it right away. Then, when you make your food, you sit down, you eat it. That's the best feeling in the world. Here's how to cut a red onion. Cut the top off, cut down the middle. Have a bin for your disposables. Peel off that outer layer, like so, keeping the root intact. Once you've peeled your onion, take your knife, go right along the edge and just do a quick cut down. So it's all even all across. Next, you're gonna go in, cut all the way down. And I think 3 layers will be good for our potato salad today. So we want decent sized onions. Next step on your onions, you want to shock them in an ice bath for up to an hour. This is going to remove all those crazy oniony qualities that everyone hates. Everyone who says they hate raw onions. If you do this, they'll never know the difference. So if you have a salad spinner or any kind of mechanism to soak your red onions in ice water, it will draw out all of those oniony qualities that everyone hates. Once you have your onions in, you put your ice in, you fill this up with water, let them soak. Once your potatoes are up to a simmer, feel free to move them to medium heat and then let them simmer. Don't let them explode and they'll be perfectly cooked. These potatoes still need some time. They're pretty big, they might take a while. Yukon Golds, russets. Yukon Golds will have a creamy, soft interior. Russets will have more of a starchy, hard interior. Putting all your veg and your potatoes are cooking, make sure you get a pot of water on to cook your eggs in. Make sure you wash your celery ahead of time. You don't want any of the white parts of the celery, and I don't really like to use those either. From here, next you have your pickles. Today I have dill pickles. You can use whatever kind of pickles you want. Bread and butter pickles are actually my favorite pickles, but this is what they have at the store. First step, eat a whole pickle. Make sure it tastes good. It tastes good. Always wipe down your surface. Have a wet towel next to your cooking surface the whole time you cook. Therefore, if it's wet, it'll wipe everything off, it'll keep everything clean. That's what we want. We want to clean as we go. We don't want to build up a disaster. Now, when you boil boil your eggs, you don't want to throw them into the pot. You want to bring your water up to a boil. You want to gently lower your eggs into the vessel. And you don't want them to crack. You want to keep them whole and let them go. Now once you have your eggs in there, boil 14 minutes. As soon as you put your eggs in the boiling water, get your ice bath ready so that your eggs can go from water to water instantly. Once your potatoes are fork tender, meaning they go all the way through and they come out, they're ready to go. Into your ice bath. 14 minutes into the ice. Now when you're frying anything at home, it's very, very important not to fill up the fryer more than halfway up whatever pot you're using. And that's because if you put water in this pot, it'll explode, it'll blow up your kitchen. So please be really careful when you're frying at home. I use peanut oil, you can use canola oil, whatever you want to use. Just be sure that whatever you put in your fryer at home, that it doesn't have moisture on it. Any kind of moisture will cause this fryer to erupt, so please don't do that. For frying the potatoes, you want your fryer to be around 350. That's ideal here. Potatoes, you want to wait till they're about room temperature. Then you can go ahead and start cutting them. I like to do squares that I'm going to do the same size pieces for the other potatoes that aren't fried, so that they all kind of have the same texture. But anyways, this can be really rough chop. You just want chunks of potato that are going to end up being fried. Now, you don't want to overcook your potatoes because they'll start to be really super mushy, like some of these guys. So you want to cook them just to the point of them being tender. Highly recommend buying one of these OXO salad spinners. It actually convinces me to eat more salad because you can actually make a really good salad. You can have your leaves be clean, dry, crispy. But yeah, you can use them for a multitude of things, like drying off these onions here. Seems like a lot of effort, but believe me, it's worth it. So this is why you don't want to put a lot of oil in your fryer at home, because it has the potential to bubble over. And there's nothing worse than grease boiling onto your flat top. So you need to be extra careful while you're doing this. If you have a deep fryer, please use a deep fryer. If you have an air fryer, please use an air fryer. But for those that want that classic deep fried taste, I'm here for you. Make sure you have a towel and a landing zone. Something like this ready so that when your potatoes come out, they can go right onto this sheet tray. Frying until golden brown. My Yukons have just finished cooking. I'm going to strain these now and get them in the cooler. Now, you want to get your fried potatoes and your whole potatoes in the fridge so that they cool down. Preferably overnight, but if you're doing it the same day, just get them cold. These just came out. These just came out of the fryer. We're going to put them right in the fridge. Make sure you season your potatoes as well. I've just salted those after they came out of the fryer. While your potatoes are cooling down, it's time to peel the eggs. And these eggs can be used for deviled eggs, for potato and egg salad, for many things. But the best way is to drop them into boiling water 14 minutes and then peel them like so. I'm gonna do the first one to make sure that I'm doing it right myself, and then I'll explain to you what exactly I just did to peel the perfect eggs. Now, everyone says they have tricks to peeling eggs, but in reality, it all depends on the egg itself. If they're fresh, if they've been in your fridge for a while, if you boiled them properly. So what I like to do, because it really doesn't matter, but I do this no matter what happens. I like to hit the egg with a spoon so that the whole thing cracks around. Then you start from the top, peel down one side, and then peel off this side. Fastest, easiest way. I then roll them around in water and place them here, and then you have your eggs. Now, the best way to incorporate your eggs for your potato salad is a cheese grater. It gives them the best texture. It's pretty simple to do. It's one of the most dangerous things in the kitchen though. Be careful. Now, another tip of mine is don't make a mess mess on purpose. So if you're making potato salad, make potato salad in one bowl. So right now I have my eggs in here. I'm gonna put my herbs right into here once I cut them. I'm gonna put my potatoes right into here once I cut them. I have all my celery, onions, pickles ready to just dump in here. Work in one bowl, work as precisely as possible, and don't scatter throughout the kitchen. Clean as you go. I have some picked parsley for the potato salad. You can throw some stems in there too. No worries. Stems actually have a little bit of character, so use whatever you want. But yeah, just gonna chop some parsley. What I like to do when I cut herbs, if they're not for something super nice, is rock your knife back and forth. Be careful not to cause a disaster, but if you keep one hand on this side, one hand on this side, rock back and forth, that's the fastest, most effective way to cut herbs. Especially if it's for potato salad, you know? If it's for like a garnish on a 2 Michelin star dish, you would never cut herbs like this. But since it's for potato salad that you're gonna be making for Super Bowl Sunday, cut the herbs however the hell you want. But if you want the fastest, most effective way, here you go. Boom. Next we have some chervil, and if you've never had chervil, it's pretty similar to celery actually. So that'll go really nice in potato salad as well. Since we're already putting celery in there, this is just another little kicker to go in. Completely optional, but I like it. It's like a garden, you know, if you're eating something super heavy, you want something to kind of brighten it up a little bit. Next we have some dill. And dill complements those dill pickles perfectly. So this is what we think about as chefs, you know. I don't want to get too fancy with potato salad, but I want it to taste good. And if tasting good means adding a couple herbs, I'm not trying to make it fancy, I'm trying to make it taste good. So, you know, you can put the herbs in if you want. I think it's gonna taste nice. Dill complements the dill pickles. Parsley complements the potatoes. Chervil complements the celery. It's all a game, you know? It's all this kind of trying to figure out what happens. Trying to figure out flavors as you go. We have our pint of fried potatoes that have cooled down in the fridge. Next, we're gonna peel these cooled down whole potatoes and then chop those up. Once your potatoes are peeled, go ahead and cut them into big chunks. Like I said, a little bit of peel is okay. You just don't want a lot of peel. The bigger the chunks, the better here. You don't want to instantly break down all your potatoes so that there's no texture left. So just cut them biggest chunks as possible. Break down as you're mixing, so there's no need to break them down now. And we're just about ready to start mixing. So I got my mayonnaise. All these amounts will be in the recipe for you, but it's gonna be mayonnaise heavy. You got your yellow mustard. Celery. Red onion. Pickles. Worcestershire. Don't be afraid of the Worcestershire. Tabasco, of course. Black pepper. Now when you mix things, you want to be constantly scraping the side of the bowl. You want everything that you actually put in here to be incorporated. So don't be afraid to fully mix. Can't forget our secret ingredient. You might have thought we were done, but a little bit of pickle juice can go a long way. seasons everything up, loosens everything up a little bit. Right now it's a little thick. So you want to try to break up those potatoes a little bit more if they're in huge chunks, so that you have a nice even consistency throughout your whole salad. Don't serve this to people until it's cold, ice cold. That's the way I like it. And then we're gonna top it off with some scallions. Boom. As pretty as potato salad can be.